Today in the Nerdy Gritty, we talk the curious case of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
What more world disappears inside it? Just another hopeless addict. Well, they make some man instead. If the drums don't get you, the guitars will.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back, or for the first time. You know, we say back a lot.
That's true, yeah.
Welcome to the Nerdy
welcome
Gritty
to the Nerdy Gritty for the
first time, or for the last time.
Who knows?
Regardless, I'm
Please
glad
don't let
I'm
it be the
sharing
last
this
time
moment with you.
Yeah. Who are you?
Oh yeah, I'm the Fox, which is supposed to be like the Flash, but it just didn't work.
Got it.
It's just the same letter.
Dez, which is
you just
my
went
name in
slow
motion.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
Or my name bloated beyond necessary. What is necessary?
Yeah, there it works two ways. Good work.
Yes.
But yeah, today we're going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. But before that, it's time for Dez to put his Batman where his mouth is.
Oh, all right. Hey, I'm ready
what?
for this.
No,
Oh, I
Dez,
mean, no. What? I mean, huh?
Sorry, I said that wrong.
I was ready for this.
Dez, you have you are a Batman fan.
I'm
we'll
a
say
Bat
that.
fan.
That's your thing. You're a Bat fan.
Behind you right now is a glass
Many
case
Batman
with,
things.
Yeah, like my Batman memorabilia.
Lots of Batman stuff everywhere, all over the place. All Batman everywhere. So I'm gonna quiz you. On the Batman.
All right. Let's see how I do here.
We're gonna start off obviously with some ones that you're definitely gonna get.
Okay.
Who is Batman?
Bruce Wayne?
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Good job.
All right.
That was the control.
That was one of those ones. I think
Wrong.
too much. My generalized anxiety disorder caused me to think too much about when we did the trivia with Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I think too much about the questions in Star Wars that I got wrong because I'm like, well, that's the answer, but that's too easy.
Yeah.
That's too. So it's got, and then I got it wrong.
I don't even have all written down. I was joking about that one.
Okay.
But there will be some easy ones here. Okay. Who are the two people credited with creating Batman?
That's Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
Bob Kane and Bill Finger, yeah. What series did Batman debut in?
Detective Comics, which is
Detective
actually
Comics.
the DC in DC Comics.
DC is Detective Comics.
It is. DC Comics is Detective
It's
Comics.
like calling
Comics.
it chai tea.
Yes.
Chai just means tea in Hindi? I don't know which language. But anyway, so to talk about which issue?
Detective Comics, I don't know.
Number 27.
27.
That's fine.
I was going to
Whatever.
say 37, actually, but so...
Yeah,
not
close,
bad.
Close. All right, here's one that you'll definitely get, because you also love Robin. But who are all the main continuity characters who have been the Robin?
Oh, get out of here, man.
Come on.
With your Garb. Okay, Dick Grayson, in order. Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, then Damian Wayne. But you could also include Stephanie Brown in that. You could also include... Cassie Kane in that. You could also include. There's a lot of people you can include in that.
The main
well.
five
so,
are Stephanie Brown is one of the main
five.
Considered one of the main five.
Yes.
But yeah, then there's like a million like multiverse Robins and
right.
Okay, all right. What is Bruce Wayne's canonical birthday?
Oh, I don't know this one. I have no idea. I got
Do
nothing.
you not? It's
No.
January 13th, my friend.
No way.
No, it's not.
Oh my gosh, you monster!
I
was so excited.
No,
for
I
half
wanted
a
you to think it
second.
was your birthday.
You monster!
It's February 19th.
You got my hopes so high, and then walked
crushed
all
them
over
quite excellently. Oh, that was good. That was good. All right. How many live action?
I was so excited, Fox.
I apologize for nothing. That
Okay.
was my plan the whole
How many
time.
live action?
How many live action feature length movies does the character Batman appear in?
that he just appears in?
That he is in. Yes.
Live action feature length. Are we including the 1940s serial in this?
No, those are
No?
not feature
Okay.
length. That's
Just wanna
a
make sure.
series.
Okay.
A serial.
So then it's going to be the Adam West Batman film in
That's
the 60s. Then it's going to be Batman
2,
Returns,
3,
Batman and Robin,
4.
Batman Forever.
Out of order, but yeah, 5.
Yeah. And then it's going to be the Dark Knight trilogy.
Dark Knight. So we're at 8.
Right. And then it's Superman versus Batman.
Yeah. BVS.
And then Justice League, of course. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I mean,
put it separate.
I wasn't counting those as
Suicide
separate
Squad.
films, but yeah, I was counting 11 because of Suicide Squad. Justice League, it's a director's cut. It's
Okay, that's fair
also
enough.
by
Yeah.
a lot of people considered to be a different movie, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
a director's cut.
And then
It's
Suicide
the same
Squad.
basic plot.
Right.
Anyway, so yes, 11. Good job. You did that. I was wondering if you'd remember Suicide Squad. He's in
Yeah.
there for like 8 seconds. Okay. How many animated feature-length movies?
I'm going to lowball guess 30.
60.
60.
This was me
Jeez.
counting on Wikipedia. Some of them might not be like feature length. I don't know, but there's a lot.
Yes,
if
there
that's
are
if we're
a
including
lot.
like the Lego Batman movies.
Oh, I didn't even think about those.
As well as
Jeez.
he does very briefly appear in Ready Player One.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Technically, I mean
That's
is
live action.
wait, yeah, but well,
But does he appear in
can
it
we
live
count
action?
that movie as live action though?
As much as we count like the Lion King as the live action Lion King.
Well, that's not, yeah. I mean, there are live action scenes in Ready Player One, but they're the
Right.
vast minority of scenes.
I would say it's 60-40 actually. I watched it again
Really?
recently.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, okay. So, yeah. All right. Here's a really fun one. Which of these is not an actual villain that has appeared in a Batman comic book?
I think I'll get this. Go ahead.
A. Professor Pig.
Is one. Yeah.
B.
That's PYG, by the way.
PYG. Yes, apparently he's real creepy,
Yo,
actually.
100% yes.
Yeah. A B. Bat Ombre. C. Bootface. Or D. Dr. T. Kettle.
Ooh, wow, those last three. Okay.
I'm so excited.
Bat Hombre, I'm fairly certain is one of them. It sounded familiar.
Okay.
Dr. Tea Kettle. I'm going to go with Dr. Tea Kettle.
Dr. T. Kettle's the one I made up.
Okay, there it is.
Bat Ombre showed up in one issue,
Yeah,
and he was like this, like he was like in like the not Brazilian, like some like South American country that they're Batman, and he
Yeah.
was literally Batman with a mustache.
Yeah.
In how they drew him, it was hilarious, and also obviously that's why he's not come back. 'Cause-
Yes.
yeah, Bootface was a guy who at some point got kicked in the face by Batman, and then that was his villain origin story.
All right.
And he called himself
There you go.
He called himself Bootface.
Bootface, the reason I did not guess Bootface, I remembered Bat Hombre vaguely. Bootface I didn't guess because that sounded too stupid and too easy. And
Yeah.
that was one that I'm like, nah, Fox is better than that.
That's let's move on. What let's talk about what's in the news.
Sure, why not? Hey, you like FIFA. I know how much you enjoy FIFA soccer.
Yeah. I watch Ted Lasso and I like that, and they play football in that, so
I got an article here from Eurogamer. EA suspends all discretionary FIFA Ultimate Team content, granting indefinitely
What?
team. Wow, this is weird.
yeah, it's
weird.
okay,
Hang
take it
on.
again. Do another one.
EA suspends all discretionary FIFA Ultimate Team content, granting indefinitely amid EA Gate scandal.
Okay, what does
that's
that mean?
Weird.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That's terribly worded. Bottom line is, I guess there are loot boxes in FIFA because
Okay, yeah.
EA is the worst.
Well, that's what they do.
And there have been devs that have found a way to just give themselves the rarest things, the Ultimate Team cards,
Interesting.
and have been selling them for up to $1,700
So-
each.
Developers?
These people who work for EA.
Okay. EA devs have been selling the super rare cards for wow. Okay,
Yeah,
whoa, that's a big deal.
That is a huge
Okay.
deal.
Now that I understand, whoa.
So not only is there this loot box thing, but now they've found ways to auction off on the black market, and EA has said, you know what, we're nerfing the Ultimate Team, which sucks for anybody who naturally pulled it.
Yeah.
It's like a point
the
zero
jerks
zero
ruin it for
five
everybody,
possibility.
as
exactly.
happens so
the
often.
jerks ruin it for everybody so often. But it's the Ultimate Team is like, here are the greatest players in history. You can put them on your team
Yeah,
if
it's a
you
certain
pull the
type of
card
play,
or whatever.
yeah.
And they're incredible. And so you could just buy victories in FIFA if you cared that much.
Man.
It's
That's
wild
that's
to me.
crazy.
Again, to me, this just goes to show how harmful the whole loot box setup
Yeah,
is.
if $1,700 is theoretically a better price than what the percentage of pulling that card would be,
Right.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If it's like, no, I'd probably spend more than that trying to get this particular card, I'll just pay $1,700. You got a problem on your hands, EA. You done did a bad. Hey, did you know that there's a video game Hall of Fame? The World Video Game Hall of Fame?
I did not.
I did not know this either. It's apparently the
Is it a
strong
location or just like
a collection by the Strong National Museum of Play. I don't know where it is, but it's a thing. I think it's more of like games, like a museum about games, not just video games. But let's see. They've announced their 2021 finalists for the World Video Game Hall of Fame.
Interesting.
It's meant to recognize individual electronic games of all types: arcade, console, computer, handheld, mobile, that have enjoyed popularity. So yeah, here, let me list these for you. And it's usually about 4 to 6 that actually get entered into the Hall of Fame. So we'll talk about what we think out of these would make most sense. Animal Crossing, Call of Duty, Farmville, FIFA International Soccer, I assume the original FIFA, Guitar Hero, Mattel Football, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Pole Position, Portal, StarCraft, Tron, and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
And these are the
These are the
nominees?
finalists.
The finalists?
From those, they will choose generally 4 to 6 to actually be entered into, like, be in the Hall of Fame.
Man, I wonder who does this. Like, do they have a Game Journalists of America type of thing?
I'm not really sure who votes
For other for like sports things, usually it's the writers and journalists for the sport.
right. Just kind of the industry.
Yeah.
Let's see. Last year, it was the games that were inducted into the Hall of Fame were Minecraft, Bejeweled, Centipede, and King's Quest.
Yeah, those all make sense to me.
Sure.
And as you're talking about it, like things like Where in the World of Carmen Sandiego is probably a shoe-in for me in that list.
Really?
Because it's one of the very first educational video games.
That went beyond just like education to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun to play.
It was way fun
Yeah.
to play. Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't just typing shark or whatever. This was a legitimately enjoyable game, a mystery for you to solve, and it helped educate you, and the more educated you were, the better you would be at the game. Like, I remember being a kid and being like, oh, this person did a report on that. I'm going to go ask them what the answer to this is.
Yeah.
And, being able to have those types of conversations.
Yeah,
So.
we talked recently about the difference between, like, when you're trying to kind of rank games, and there's kind of a difference between what you think the best one is and what you think is the most important, because those can be pretty different. Even if a game isn't that great, it can be important. And so to me, this is where the importance factor should outrank the, like, beloved factor to a certain extent. Now, I mean, if the game is important but nobody's heard of it, nobody plays it or likes it, maybe. But
what would make it important?
Like new mechanics, new establishing new ideas for the genre. Usually those things coincide. Wolfenstein 3D being the first, like, big first person, maybe not the first person shooter, but it's good and also important for the genre.
Right.
So for me, I think Guitar Hero is going to be one of those.
Yeah. It was a fad, but still an important one, I think.
Still an important one, and it took over the world for a little while.
Right.
Yeah, and also I love it. And as much as I, don't really like the series, I think Call of Duty would be one of those.
Yeah, I think so. I guess they have...
I think that would be in the, like, origins of the competitive scene that has now become massive.
I see, like, Team Fortress players or
This
Counter-Strike.
is the original Call of Duty, though.
The original Call of Duty wasn't really competitive. It was a single.
Yeah, I guess
it was
that's
a
fair.
single player World
maybe
War II
StarCraft
sim.
on this list would be a better version.
StarCraft
of that.
is a huge one for that. And yeah, like Counter-Strike and Team Fortress was around before Call of Duty became competitive. Yeah, I think Call of Duty is worthy of being on the list because of its cultural impact.
Sure.
But I don't know if it deserves to be in
the Call of Duty series influenced so much about modern games.
I think that's a good example of it's very, very popular and a lot of people really enjoy it, but
maybe
did it
that
do
one,
anything?
Yeah, there might be a more beloved entry in the series after, Modern Warfare, the original, is probably a more beloved.
That's
entry.
a huge one right there.
That one was huge,
Yeah.
So anyway, good luck to the entries.
Good luck to you guys.
Yeah, sure. Anyway.
What have you been up to, Fox?
Well, I'm going to start with the second. I watched 6 movies during the film festival, so hold on. Monocle, do the whole thing again.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna get a cup of water. I'll be back.
Yeah,
You
okay,
just talk
sure.
to nobody.
Anyway, we got two more movies. The last 2 I watched after we recorded last week. I'll start with Air Conditioner.
Okay.
It was just a static shot of an air conditioner for an hour and 45 minutes,
And it was fantastic.
It was wonderful. No.
It was pretty cool.
It was a so part of how I choose which movies to watch.
Talk right past that.
Oh, it's pretty cool. Okay, I see. Yeah. Anyway, I'm a fan of that joke. Part of how I choose which movies to watch is kind of like it's an international film festival. I want to go all over the world.
Right.
And this was a movie from Angola.
Oh.
It's an Angolan movie. It's
right.
Northern Africa or Southern Africa. Sorry. Southern Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is an Angolan movie filmed in Angola. Like, I was like, yes, I'm gonna watch that movie. And the plot was essentially for some unknown reason, air conditioners in this city in Angola. It's not Angola. That's like Angela Merkel. Angola are falling from the sides of buildings, or like fans are falling off the ceiling. People can't figure it out why, but there's just been people have been dying because they're standing underneath an air conditioner. And so the plot, as described when I was reading it, was two employees of this building's security or whatever are tasked with securing a new air conditioner for their boss, and then things happen. And I was like, that sounds like a fun plot, because it sounds like an interesting kind of maybe sci-fi thing. Who knows what's going on, or maybe it'll mean. But that was really not the description of the movie. Like, that was kind of like the most concrete plot you could give it. It was very experimental, I'd say, a very like loose structure. And I'll just be honest, it went over my head. I didn't really get much out of it. I don't know if it was just because I'm not familiar with the culture of Angola, or if it was just not my thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I watched 5 movies this week.
5 of them, including
not including.
Yeah. You spend so much time watching movies this week.
So my wife and I watched one movie every night this week,
including the 4-hour.
Yes,
anyway,
including the 4-hour Snyder cut. So I'll just pair them up. I'll go 2 at a time here, and then the last one on its own. Gotham by Gaslight is
the Victorian
Batman. It's not steampunk. It is just Victorian era,
straight Victorian,
and it could be my favorite animated Batman movie.
Is it another time travel one, or is it just new setting?
This is just as if it happened in that time frame.
He fights Jack the Ripper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
yeah.
It really leans on the mystery of it. He the action and combat part of it is appropriate. Toned down a little bit, a little bit more realism.
Sure.
Especially juxtaposed to watching Batman Ninja last week, where
it goes
it's
off
all
the
the
rails.
combat. It's just off the rails. Again, it's honoring those 80s anime. This one is way more grounded, much more about the mystery of it, and it's really fun, really cool. None of it goes into like the steampunk, weird, crazy area.
Yeah.
It's all just like.
I actually think I appreciate that more.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's a detective, and that's like a classic detective setting. Now, no, it'll be a mild spoiler, but not anything specific. But do they reveal Jack the Ripper to be
somebody
that you would be familiar with as a Batman, as a Batman character?
A character in the movie is Jack the Ripper that you know.
Okay.
You can here's what I'll say. You can solve the mystery if you pay attention.
Gotcha. Cool.
And
that's fun.
Yes, it feels good. It's real good. And then I also watched honestly, what I think is a criminally underrated film, Constantine.
I like Constantine.
I watched Keanu Reeves' Constantine, and in my brain, it's always been that movie that it's not great, but I love it. I went back and watched it again, and no, it's good.
Yeah,
it is good. Its cinematography is fantastic. Klaus Badelt does an incredible score for it. Like, the music is top notch.
I think it's very well cast.
Honestly, and I feel like I need to stay out of arm's reach of you for this. Keanu Reeves is the worst part of this movie. And
he's not really the comic book Constantine.
No, and he's not a great actor either.
No,
there was some, like, Rachel Weisz brings just top.
I like her. I like what's her name plays Gabriel.
Oh yeah,
she's excellent.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, I love the guy who plays Lucifer.
Yeah,
I think he was super creepy.
Yes,
super creepy, but in like he's literally oily, but like in like a uncomfortable way instead of like ooh, I'm
not
gonna
just
get you
scary.
I'm a spooky
you just
devil.
feel weird.
I don't like this guy.
It's great, man. But the cinematography, the pacing, everything in this movie is actually really good.
There's some cool stuff in it. The last movie I watched, well, chronologically not the last, but the last one I'll talk about from the film festival is called Yalda: A Night for Forgiveness.
Okay.
This is an Iranian film about a young woman who is has been convicted of murder and has been given the opportunity to escape her death sentence if she goes on a nationally televised reality show and confronts one of the family members
Of the victim.
and is given forgiveness from them.
Now, I saw your Instagram post on this.
Yes.
What was most bonkers to me is this was a real
This
thing.
was based on yes. The movie itself is an interesting premise, but it's not just a premise, it's a real thing there was an actual show in Iran, very popular for I think for like 11 years, from like 2007 to 2018. That was an actual reality show that in line with like the Justice Department of Iran, that if they gave forgiveness, they would waive the penalty or whatever. And that was what blew my mind about this. The movie itself is really interesting, because it talks about like the idea of grace and forgiveness and what it takes to give that kind of thing, but also like the like exploitation of reality television and just the facade that it is. But then when you learn this was an actual thing, it blows the mind of like, I don't understand how this can be an acceptable, like,
right.
It's so
That's
weird,
so wild.
but it was an excellent movie to watch.
Watched a couple of fantastic westerns this week. I watched True Grit, the most recent one,
the
with
remake,
Jeff Bridges,
with Jeff Bridges.
and Matt Damon.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember the girl's name for the life of me, dang it. But
I remember watching this in theaters. Yeah,
right. She was I've talked many times before about how child actors can make or break a film.
Yeah.
She was 14 when this movie was made.
Yeah, I think this was like her breakout role.
And she crushed
Yeah.
it. Oh my gosh, she was good, and she made this film. Jeff Bridges, of course, was fantastic.
Oh, sure.
He's a fantastic actor. Matt Damon was fantastic. He's a fantastic actor. The villain is Josh Brolin, another fantastic actor. And they all do great jobs, but it all pivots around this 14-year-old girl, and Haley Steinfeld just knocks it out of the park. The movie is so good. There's themes of revenge and moral neutrality, but also what is true justice and things like that throughout the whole thing. And man, really, really good. Because I watched that and enjoyed it so much, I decided to watch one of my all-time favorite films and my all-time favorite Western, Unforgiven, starring Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman.
Based on the Metallica song.
Based on the Metallica song.
Yes.
And it is, you want a film about moral neutrality, this is a movie that you watch and you understand why everybody is doing what they're doing. And it all just sucks.
Yeah.
It's a movie about couple of cowboys who go into a whorehouse and are real drunk, and one of the whores laughs at the dude when he takes his pants off, and so he cuts her face up. And so the sheriff in the town says, I'm gonna give you a whipping, and you owe Slim, the owner of this place, because the whores are his property, it's the time.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, you owe him horses. Come back and bring horses. Meanwhile, the women are saying, that's not enough. That's not enough. And so they put out a bounty. They offer $1,000 to anybody to kill these men. And the sheriff of the town does not want assassins and bounty hunters coming through his town. And so he is doing everything he can to keep his town safe. He's kind of a bully, but at the same time, he's doing it to try and keep his place safe. On the other hand, the women just want revenge. There's not enough. Like one of their own has been severely injured.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the two guys going after it, Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood, are old. They're done with the game, but they both really could use the money for their family. And so they decide to kind of they haven't done killing like this in years, but they decide to kind of break out and try and make this money to help their family and whatnot. And oh man, it's all everything makes sense and it breaks your heart.
Well, that's all I have.
That is also all I have. You ready to get down to the nerdy gritty?
I think I am.
Hey, before we head over that nerdy gritty spot over there, you can see it from here, I know, but we'll let you through in a second. Over there.
Oh, hey.
There it is. Before we get there, though, we just want to let you know you're listening to an edited version of this. We've cut it down pretty significantly before this. We talked about 45 minutes about movies we've been watching, things we've been up to, all kinds of cool stuff going on here. But we cut it down, make it a little more palatable for the average listener. But if you are a hardcore, if you are a nerdy gritty stan, if you really enjoy
All of you out there.
yeah, all y'all out there, we want to encourage you to head over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/DesandFox and become one of our patrons. Because at the second level or higher, you get access to the director's cut of the Nerdy Gritty. I spaced on the word there for a second.
Yeah.
Director's cut, the Zack Snyder's.
Yeah, they're
Zack
all
Snyder's
from now on. They're all called Zack Snyder's Nerdy Gritty.
Nerdy Gritty, in which we do not have anything.
That might actually be the title of this episode now.
Zack
that I think
Snyder's
about it.
Nerdy Gritty.
Yeah, dang it! All right, cool. We got that
There
taken
you
care
go.
of.
And you get all the stuff we've been talking about. Now, to be clear, nothing is cut after this. Our actual topic stays the same, untainted by Fox's editing hand.
Yeah.
But it's just before this, so if you want to do that, we'd really appreciate it. If it's not something that you can do right now, we totally understand. We just appreciate it when you tell your friends, when you share it on your social medias, when you let everybody know, hey, I listen to the Nerdy Gritty and you should too.
When you write a handwritten note to everybody you've ever met,
Right.
just tell them about it.
But it's handwritten that says listen to the Nerdy Gritty, and then in newspaper cutout it says or else.
Or else, yeah.
And that's it. And you just mail that to everybody.
That's a very common way for us to get some publicity.
Yeah, of course. With all that being said, we appreciate your help however you can give us. Let's get down to the Nerdy Gritty.
In 2017, a movie came out. It was called Justice League. It came out to mixed reviews.
Yeah.
I had a mixed review.
Yeah.
It was definitely a step up from the previous movies in the series, Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. I also don't think it was great, but I think
Right.
it was basically right down the middle.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. It also had a lot of production issues.
Yeah.
There's rumors of a lot of studio meddling. Probably pretty confirmed at this point, but allegedly still by my understanding. As well as the fact that, unfortunately, Zack Snyder, the director of the movie, experienced some pretty heavy tragedy in his life midway through making this movie and stepped down from directing. Understandably, the studio then replaced him with Joss Whedon. Controversial move. He has a very different style.
Right.
And the movie showed it.
Yes.
That was a lot of what I considered to be, and a lot of people considered to be a problem with the movie, is that it seemed like, and confirmed, two different styles in the movie, very different mindsets toward filmmaking.
Right.
As a result, after the Justice League came out, there has been now, for going on 3.5 years-ish, 4 years, however, I don't know the exact date the original came out, a very strong fan outcry to hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And it was successful. Something that seems
So
to be
weird.
a little unprecedented in, as far as we know, film. Like, where it's such a fan outcry. There's been director's cuts out the wazoo
I think the
forever.
only precedent would be Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right, where the fans have influence, yes.
Yeah.
But this was like, hey, release an entire different movie, essentially.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
This is unprecedented, like, fan influence on the release of a movie. And just yesterday, as recording this, the Zack Snyder's Justice League edition came out, and it was quite different. The major plot was essentially the same, but it was literally double the length of the original, included some entirely new scenes. Almost every other scene was edited in some way, lengthened, different dialogue, new soundtrack, entire characters introduced that were not in the original. Very, very different. What we want to talk about today is, first of all, what we think, of course, just kind of
Right.
a short review of what we thought. But we want to talk about just kind of maybe the precedent that this is set for films in the future, pop culture films, superhero movies and things like that, because it's pretty unique. So let's start off with, hey, Dez, as a very big DC fan, what do you think of Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I still have very mixed...
You're wrong!
Oh, that's true.
Just kidding.
I still have very mixed reviews about it.
Yeah.
I think it's better than the original Justice League.
Do you?
I think it's better than the original Justice League because it's consistent, at least. where
in its tone, you're saying?
Yeah, in its tone.
I'd agree that it is definitely more consistent.
And that hurt the original a lot for
Yes.
me, and it felt weird at times, just like, I'm not gonna say inappropriate humor, that's not the right word, but just poorly timed humor sometimes
In the original?
yeah. And then poorly timed drama in the original
Yes.
times too, like
Yes.
it just was all over the map on that. This one definitely maintained a much more dramatic tone through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
heavily dramatic
There was
tone.
some humor.
And there was
And I
bits
think
of
most of
levity
the
in
humor
there, but-
was pretty okay.
Yeah,
There's some
absolutely.
funny jokes in there
Yeah.
at certain points. But yes, it was very serious.
But this, to me, it was so weird. It was too long.
Yes.
It was too long, but we already knew that. It was 4 hours. Like, I don't understand how he got to 3 hours of movie and thought, I'm going to keep adding to this.
I think he just went for broke. He got an opportunity and said, I'm not going to not release everything. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a big question, is why is this so long?
Yeah, the 4 hours was a huge detriment for me. I found myself at the end of the movie and like the payoff. There were some really, really good scenes, and I really liked the epilogue.
We're going to talk about that.
Yes, we are. I really let me rephrase that. I really like the beginning of the epilogue, but by the time the second half happened, we're gonna spoil this movie.
Oh,
right?
we're going to spoil it out the wazoo. Maybe not
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Maybe just our general review. We'll try to keep it.
Okay. Well, then what I'll say is the epilogue is kind of cut into two parts, and the first part I thought was a really nice bow on the movie, and I really enjoyed that. The second part was weird,
Yes.
and I wanted to go to bed. I was like, end.
What is
Movie,
happening?
End.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I was angry with it. In other long movies like the third Lord of the Rings or Avengers Endgame, first of all, these are films in which you have so much invested from previous
culmination
movies.
of literal, like for Endgame, over a decade.
Yes.
Yeah.
In these movies, I found myself sad when the credits rolled.
Maybe it could have been cut down a little, but you still love what's happening.
Yeah.
You still could. Yeah.
And I'm saying
still
goodbye
sad
to these
that
characters.
it's done.
Oh
Yeah.
man, this movie, I'm like, end.
What is happening?
Sweet
Yeah.
fancy Moses. I don't care about what's happening here. This
Yes.
does not apply to the
Yes.
story you're trying
Thank
to tell
you.
me.
Yes.
This is pointless. End.
Yeah.
And there were some moments in that were just confusing me. Like, why is this in here? This is unnecessary to the plot, to the characters. Overall, this is a pointless scene, and I don't care about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you my quick unspoiler review, and then we'll get into some specifics. I would say overall, it was a worse experience.
Okay.
But I think I'm generally saying what you're saying is the movie was better.
Yeah.
In its tone, in its consistency, it did a better job of making me care about like the Flash and Cyborg. They were given a lot of justice in the Justice League. So I think there was definitely some improvements to the movie itself, but the experience of watching it was not fun.
It was tough,
it was
man.
a bit of a slog of a movie almost throughout, because it's not surprising because it's his kind of deal, but the slow motion, constant slow motion was just so annoying to me. And so I'm just like, okay, yes, we know what's gonna happen. Let's get through this. Let's
this
move.
Isn't even slow mo. She's putting the cup down.
She's putting a cup on a thing. It doesn't have to be slow motion. The drama should come from what's happening, not necessarily that it's taking so long to happen. Anyway, so I think a worse experience overall, but I definitely agree that it was a improvement on the actual film itself.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to watch it again.
I never will watch it again.
Never
That's
ever going to
very
watch it
true.
again.
Well, maybe I will if they end up making a sequel like 3 years from now and I want to catch myself up on it, something like that. But
there will not be a sequel. There will be Zack Snyder's real Justice League, and it'll be a 6-hour movie.
He's gonna go George Lucas on this. He's gonna keep
The Zack Snyder
re-releasing
Justice League Special Edition. It's gonna
The
have
Zack
Jabba
Snyder
the
Justice
Hutt in
League
there
holiday
for some
special.
reason.
Life
Anyway,
Day in Gotham City.
so that'll be our non-spoilerly review.
Okay, now we're gonna spoil things now. So if you want to watch it, you can pause it here.
Yes.
But now let's keep talking about review, because I have something I want to say that I think is really important.
Please.
I think there is a very good Cyborg movie in this film.
there's a lot of good movies that should have happened before this one.
But I think you can take edits.
Oh, you can just take.
I think you could just cut and edit and paste together. I think the only thing you need to do is add an antagonist and shoot half an hour to 45 minutes of like interaction between Cyborg and antagonist.
You would need a little bit more, but yes, there's a consistent, like, again, Cyborg is the most, like, he has the most coherent story of this whole thing with a beginning, middle, and end.
And it's good, and it's like you can empathize, and they do a really good job building on it. And there's some cheesy stuff in there, like the way that he goes through his online world looks a little bit weird to me sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, they're representing something visually,
yeah,
instead of just showing him, like, sometimes he'll just close his eyes and be doing a thing. And I appreciate that they kind of varied it up a little bit.
That's true. That's a good point.
So they're doing something visually instead of just
saying, there, it's done.
Instead of him just saying, all right, Dad, I forgive you. You know, that kind of thing. It's like giving you an actual... So I appreciate that.
But I think they did a fantastic job. It was really dramatic seeing him and his mom interact, then seeing the car crash and knowing that they died.
Sure.
Then later on in the film, seeing him actually be made and seeing the mother box create his skeleton.
Yeah.
You know, seeing his body hanging there, like his corpse, essentially, just head, torso, and arm hanging there. Like, there was really rough and awesome moments in this, and then him coming to terms with this, realizing he's not a horrific monster, he can actually help people through all of this.
A very Frankenstein-esque kind of story.
Absolutely. And the whole thing, I think, was very good. My favorite part of this was the Cyborg part of it. And I honestly think that with a little of extra work and just pulling that stuff out of this movie, they could have made a good Cyborg movie.
We can definitely agree that there were, that too, and as well as Justice League should have happened years down the line after introducing these characters.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, it's not the Marvel route, it's good storytelling route.
Right.
It's how for us to care about all these new characters, we need to know who they are. And unless you want to make a 4-hour movie, which you did, you should probably just introduce us to them in some other capacity so that when they're all coming together, you can have that conflict. Anyway, I have questions for you.
Okay.
I had a lot of nitpicks about the movie.
Okay.
And at a certain point, nitpicks don't matter as long as the story. I have nitpicks about Avengers. I have nitpicks about lots of movies. But if the movie is good enough, then you can overcome those. This one was not one of those for me. It's just like piling on each other. I have some questions for it. For you, legitimately just seeing, like, kind of like complaining, but also maybe I missed something.
Right.
Does Flash have healing powers?
Yeah.
He does? Oh.
His whole body works at a heightened metabolism.
Oh, okay.
And
all right. Because, they had never established that before.
No, they don't.
It's annoying. Okay. I'm going to limit our time here of just, like, of my time, I guess, complaining about things. But can we agree that a lowly parademon being able to shoot the Flash when he's running at nearly the speed of light is the Martha moment, where it's just that, okay.
Here's what
come on.
When you're running at nearly the speed of light, he's technically in all of those places at the exact same time. My honest question was, how was he missing so often?
My question is, it's just energy that's being shot. He's generating more than that. Like, I feel like that
it should just pass
run right through it. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Like, that to me was, we need a reason why.
It should be going so slow. Like, for him, it would be the equivalent of a river changing over the course of 1,000 years. And it doesn't take a house down, I guess, in an immediate moment. In a flood, it might, but like...
cumulatively,
I think that one shot... and him running around in circle, it should have been going so slow that he should have just been able to run around it every single time. I don't know how it hit him.
To me, that was just, it was a storytelling thing. They needed something else to happen. They needed him to not go, like, they needed the portal to open up so Darkseid could show up for 30 seconds or whatever and do nothing while standing there watching his nephew be murdered. He didn't help at all. He just watched, and he could have destroyed them all. Anyway.
Well, and the scene where he is like, come on, Barry, and like he's running and he says, Dad, I just want you to know, and he's talking to his dad and everything. I'm like, who is this for?
Dad can't hear you.
Yeah. This is, again, this seems like the payoff to the Flash movie that didn't happen.
Yes. 100%.
Why?
But the Flash movie is now happening.
Right.
So
unfortunately.
What's going to happen?
They referenced it so much, create your own past and change your future or whatever. Like they very heavily referenced that.
But anyway, Flash has
Okay.
healing powers,
He does.
heightened metabolism.
He does.
The flaw there was they didn't introduce that.
They
I
never
think. They
mentioned
should
it.
have mentioned that. Anyway, why did Superman choose a black suit?
Because in the comics, when Superman is reborn,
He
wears
has
a black suit.
Okay, but there's no actual reason presented in this movie.
No, not that I know.
He
of.
literally walks by his other suit and then just puts on the black one and is still wearing it at the end when it does
Right.
the classic Superman thing. Thought that was weird. Okay, but there wasn't anything. Okay.
No reasoning for it that I know of.
So Darkseid didn't walk through the portal to help Steppenwolf. Like, he knew that the anti-life... First of all, the whole anti-life thing, I understand it's very established in the comics, but it's just... They made Steppenwolf a little better, giving him motivation.
Yeah.
But then they just made Darkseid the new no motivation bad guy who just wants to invade and kill everybody. Like, he has nothing. He has no motivation here. Anyway, okay. Biggest question, though. At the very end, Martian Manhunter reveals himself, shows him hey, I'm the guy. I'm here too.
Yeah.
That scene where he impersonates Lois was the worst.
Pointless.
It was pointless.
Stupid.
Took away the emotional.
Not Lois. He
impersonates Martha Wayne.
Yes.
Or Martha
Kent.
Yeah.
Martha.
Pointless. Yes. Ugh. But yeah, it takes away the emotional punch of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he doing this? Why is it just made
the
no
world
sense.
Needs you too, Lois.
Who
Why?
is this guy?
Yeah.
We don't know who. You didn't tell us who Martian Manhunter is. Who is this?
Yeah.
Why is he like that? But at the end, he then tells Batman, "Some call me Martian Manhunter." Who calls him that?
And why?
Who? Why would
I
they
have
call
no
nobody?
idea.
Like, I would assume nobody knows who he is on this planet. He's disguising himself for a reason. If it's the standard Martian Manhunter backstory, he's the last of his race of Martians. So there's not even other Martians who could call him a Manhunter. That was just it's a nitpick, but it stood out like it was pure fan service because it had nothing to do with anything in the movie, and there was I think a decent amount of that in this one, and it was very frustrating.
Yeah. For me, I think what I was most disappointed with in the whole film is that I think there is a pretty, if not very good movie in there. I think that with heavy editing, they could have made a pretty good movie out of what the pieces that were there, but they bloated it.
Yeah,
so
no, it was a real problem.
much.
There's too much. It took too long. Also, last kind of nitpick, but Batman's like nightmare premonition dream thing that he had in Batman v Superman makes even less sense now, right?
Yeah.
Because originally in the original one, he's the one who calls Lois Lane to come and calm down Superman.
Right.
And it's like, okay, at least that idea of her being the key, even if that's not what the original intention was, it has a little bit of a payoff.
Right.
She's the key to calming down Superman, bringing him back to reality. He doesn't do that in this one, though. And now, though.
Nope.
She's just there and shows up. Plus, also, with the whole nightmare thing, he has a premonition of the nightmare realm in Batman v Superman, Nightmare whatever. And then also, he has that whole super long one toward the end.
Yeah.
Which was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
It really was.
As well as Cyborg has a very brief, like, he sees that same nightmare world before they bring Superman back to life. Why did they see the same future? Why did they have premonitions of this?
No. If you're asking who's giving them or why do they like literally
why can they both see the same exact future?
Well, it's the same future because this is the future they have created. By bringing back Superman, this is the future they have created.
But
this
why
was a linchpin moment.
But okay, sure, but why are they being able to see it?
No idea.
It was to me the entirety of all the nightmare garbage, fan service. Nothing but fan service. Had no impact on the story. They just wanted to show you, like, Deathstroke with a mohawk and wanted the Joker in there. And they wanted Batman to say, "I'm going to effing kill you because cool and edgy."
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is nonsense and it has nothing to do with anything. Anyway, I need to be done just complaining about this movie.
Right.
Overall, if you forget a lot of that stuff, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I honestly think there is a good movie in there.
There
a
could
movie
be a
that
good
I would
movie,
enjoy,
sure.
But there was just so many things. Like I was going to bring up the
Weird
scene
choices.
with Martian Manhunter and Lois Lane. Why?
It's
like a 10-minute scene. Maybe
It makes no
maybe
sense.
it's not. It felt like a 10-minute
that
scene.
scene would have been great if that part hadn't happened.
Right.
Because we need more like humanity, emotional, like actual dealing with the tragedy of losing a loved one and like things like that. But then you introduce that it's not actually Martha. You're like, oh, okay. Let's hope Lois never brings that up. What are you talking about? That wasn't me. I was never there.
What? And Lois, we need to put you in a home, Martha. Oh no, man,
Martha.
I did really like establishing characters like Ryan Choi in this, though. He was a great character in it.
He was a plot point in. He was a plot.
He was not out of
character.
place. He was the science helper guy.
But him being. I mean, they didn't introduce him as the Atom. They just told you it was the equivalent of Joseph Gordon-Levitt being revealed that his name was Robin in the in the Dark Knight Rises, where it's like, oh, okay.
I think this is more like hearing about that's in WandaVision. We're going to spoil WandaVision a little bit here. That the Scarlet Witch is going to be stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh,
It's one of those things where like they've made a clear reference and it's fan service, but also it's referencing what could be coming as well.
oh, sure.
And
See, I had no problem with that.
Yeah, I like
it.
that.
Just
I
didn't
thought
have
that was
it. Didn't
great.
have any negative impact on the movie, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and I really like the combat scenes. I think that whatever he did, maybe slowing things down, maybe extending it, whatever it is, I think that the action scenes in this were just better than they were in the original.
Sure.
I was way more invested, and it felt more superheroic. That's what I'll say.
They extended the final battle by a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually think that was helpful in this
Yeah.
one.
No, it was super cool.
Because it allowed more things to happen outside of combat, like Darkseid being there, and like it was all kind of lame, just the plot that was happening right there, but because they were clearly hampered by the fact that they didn't have Darkseid, like they were limited by what footage they had, so they couldn't do much anyway.
Like, 'cause I want to be clear, I liked this movie more than I disliked it.
I am opposite.
Yeah, I would say if I were to put a number on it, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm a solid 4.
Yeah, and so, excuse me,
So Des and Fox review 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Des and Fox.
Des and Fox. Put that on the box.
Watch it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah,
Des and Fox.
Why didn't I do that? Why did I waste so much time? Oh, dang it. I regret everything.
But I think that there are really, really good things in this movie. Again, I actually really like the Cyborg story. I think they took a lot more with Bruce Wayne and really built on that. His relationship with Alfred, his relationship with Gotham City, like Bruce Wayne and the Batman character were really, really cool in this. You and I agree that Batfleck is great. Like
He's an interesting
awesome.
take on the character. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much good in this film, but it really is just hindered hugely by how bloated it is, how unnecessary so many of the scenes are. In the epilogue, what I was talking about before in the no spoiler part, the epilogue ties a nice bow where it's this monologue from Silas Stone.
Yeah.
About
dad.
what it means to be a hero and
Yeah,
how proud
It was
he
a
is.
classic wrap everything up at the end.
And it was great. I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
worked
was
well.
really, really good. And then after that, they brought in Lex Luthor, and I don't give a crap about Lex Luthor anymore.
Yeah, that was an extended edition version of what was in the original. Like that was the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
They didn't reveal like that he knew Bruce Wayne's identity or Batman's identity in the
Right.
original. It's just like, okay.
And then Mr. Mangello as Deathstroke, that'll be interesting.
Sure.
I've never really seen him in anything, so we'll see if he's a good actor.
Either.
Because here's what I'll say. Deathstroke is a fantastic character.
Sure.
He is true neutral to chaotic neutral to the core.
Yeah.
And so much good story writing could happen with him.
Oh, there's a lot of potential for everything.
Yeah. But I just don't know if Joe Manganiello would be able to.
All right. Let's we've nitpicked
Okay.
a lot. It has issues, but overall some improvements for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get into the whole concept of the hashtag release the Snyder cut situation, because it's weird.
It is.
To me, I told you this before, to me this is they gave him $70 million to do reshoots and add stuff to the movie. And to me, this is the biggest, like, highest budget moment of feeding the trolls that I've ever seen. To me, this, like, I think it largely stems from me not really enjoying the Justice League and not really understanding why Like, I can understand, yeah, the whole studio thing sucked, but this movie was bad, and his other movies are bad also, so don't give him more money. Like,
The biggest question to me is the why of it, because who is this for? I understand that this is for the fans that wanted the Snyder cut, but
it's for them.
But
or the industry.
But it's not for the industry didn't want this.
Well, it's for reviews to get the publicity to get more people to watch it. Maybe, I don't know.
I guess, but like there was a subculture that wanted the Snyder.
It's a freaking. I probably a subreddit
yes.
dedicated to releasing the Snyder cut.
I'm honestly going to guess maybe worldwide, maybe 500,000 people.
Maybe, who knows?
All about
hard
the
to
cut.
You can't really.
Right,
yeah,
I'm literally
but not a
guessing
huge, not a huge amount of people.
Not a massive amount of people that want this, and why commit $70 million
on top of what you already spent?
Right, and then just fingers crossed, hoping that people are going to subscribe to HBO Max for this.
Yeah,
if they had gone, I think that they could have solved a lot of the problems if they released it episodically, 4 1-hour things. I think I would have enjoyed it more.
Yes.
I think that I would have been more invested in it. And I think that people would have subscribed for HBO Max for a month instead of for the free trial for 1 week or whatever, you know? And I think so much could have done better if they would have stuck with the 4 1-hour episodes.
Yeah, I'm really saddened by just this precedent that has been set a little bit of the release. This is not an indictment on everybody who wanted to see the Snyder cut, of course, but there was a section of that that subculture, that subreddit, whatever, that's pretty toxic.
Yeah,
that just is unwilling to that just threatening people. I was telling you about this the other day, that there was a video that came out about Dying Light 2, new game on the horizon. People are super interested in watching it, and there are people who are so invested in seeing it that they're willing to tweet and speak to the developers in a way that is insulting them and just like cursing them out, and just like these things that are not how humans should be talking to humans for something as there's seeming a weird amount of passion for this is what I'll say. And the Dying Light 2 developers put out a video like reading those tweets and then saying, haha, well, we see you want the game, so here's a little trailer. And it's just this moment of like, let's give a mouse a cookie after he curses us out and, smears us on, doxes us on the internet, that kind of thing. And to me, this is a worse example of that, because it's far more of a cookie, I guess.
It's literally
in the metaphor.
It's literally the reason that organizations have the standard we don't give into ransoms. Like, we don't deal with blackmail or whatever it is, because the first time you do, it gives an invite to everybody else saying, wait, that works. I can do that and I will get what I want. When you give the squeaky wheel the grease in these types of situations, it just encourages the rest of the wheels to squeak.
Yeah.
If you to turn to these people and say, no, you're being rude and toxic, stop it.
Yeah.
That's a very, very different thing and much more appropriate response.
There's a weird level of passion. Like I said, it almost feels as like there are people who found this subculture that they were a part of to be a part of their identity, which, hey, we're all looking for like a group to belong to and a group to like have shared common interests. But as soon as you make a, piece of art or like, a movie or whatever part of your identity where it's like, when it comes out, it's vindication for your actions. I think there just needs to be a more willingness to say, yeah, that movie sucked and the situation around it was bad.
Yeah. Or
that movie was good and I liked it and I wish, there was a better situation. Hey, and if there's a petition or something, I'll sign it. But like just an ability to rein in that emotional investment into something that really isn't that big of a deal, that isn't that important in the long run.
To me, it just goes to show that they were more willing to make money than to try and make the world a better place.
Again, unfortunately, we don't get we don't get reports on streaming service revenue, because I don't think that they're going to make $70 million worth of new subscriptions because of this.
Right. Or I mean, I guess also ads and other things. Like they're getting to re-release all their Justice League merchandise and things like that.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'd still be surprised if there was
Right,
a return on investment of $70 million
Yes.
for this. Like, I would hope that most people we had. I mean, I would have watched it either way because I watch everything. But I would hope that there's a lot of people who said, I didn't like the original, and this one's 4 hours. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
The logical thing to do that I should have done.
Really, they were banking on fans and curiosity, and that's
podcasts to talk about it for 45 minutes. Whoever they are,
whoever do that,
yeah, those dummies.
Yeah, but they're just banking on fans and curiosity.
Yeah,
and
morbid curiosity.
Will that be enough though? And I honestly don't think it will.
Yeah,
I guarantee you there are people who watch 2 hours of it, an hour and a half of it, 45 minutes of it, 9 minutes of it, and said, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I don't like this.
This doesn't look good.
Yeah, they haven't spoken in the first 9.5 minutes of this movie.
It was almost 10 minutes before the first, like, somebody said one thing, like, get the queen. Before that.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, somebody said get the queen before that.
Oh,
but it was about 10 minutes in before there was the first dialogue.
And most of that 10 minutes was in slow motion.
Yes. It was a weird movie with a lot of weird artistic choices. I will say that a lot of my complaints were artistic ones and opinion related ones. Maybe people really get into that slow motion thing. Maybe people like the musical vignette was something that it would just took me out of the fiction
every single time. It's just, this is weird and out of place.
Aquaman walking away and like slow motion in the musical vignettes, or
it's not telling us anything.
Yeah, or Lois Lane, going to the memorial and the musical vignettes, and just there's so many like 3 or 4 minute musical vignettes that tell us nothing, that are in slow motion, and it's Zack Snyder's Spotify playlist or whatever. And it just took me out of the fiction every time, man.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
bad.
I mean, obviously, this is all subjective. If you like Zack Snyder's style, sure, you're gonna love this movie. I guarantee.
Yes, it is Snyderific.
It's 4 hours worth of him. But the real problem now, in my opinion, the real problem is now because of this, there is hashtag Restore the Snyderverse, which is now a fan outcry to make several more movies, which according to current like budgets would be like $600 million worth of movies.
Yeah,
Warner Brothers, don't do it.
Don't do
it. Give more money to Denis Villeneuve or whatever to make a whole Dune trilogy. Don't make more Zack Snyder movies. It's a weird choice. It is a weird choice.
Here's the reality though, Fox, is if we are wrong and this makes money, I think it could be very easy for them to say we have given up on the original Justice League film, because there's nothing canonical in that film that they have built on that is not also in the Snyder cut.
Yeah, just that one's non-canon now.
Yeah, so that one is now non-canonical. We are now building the rest of our universe on the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we are essentially canceling Joss Whedon. And
that's already taken place. Yeah, that's already happened.
And sticking with Zack Snyder. They could do that if they wanted to. And if this makes money, I think they will, because they want so badly for the DCEU to make them money. They want that superhero money. They want that Marvel money right now. They want it so bad. And if this worked, they're going to keep doing it, man.
Yeah. Who knows? One last weird thing. Remember that whole like, that where he has like the yell noise at the beginning? That was goofy, wasn't it? That was super goofy. Also,
for like 6 minutes.
Why did the mother boxes now wake up? They said that it was because the Kryptonian was dead, and for some reason his yell is what woke him up. But he's only been there for like 30 years, and the mother boxes have been on Earth for like 5,000 years. So why now? They were like, oh, we're about to. Oh wait, no, Superman's here now. Dang it! Like why? Why did it take so long?
Well, no, his death is what woke them up. They when he arrived and he became super powerful, they were like, oh, cool, the super powerful guy. And then he died. And they're like, the Kryptonian is dead. We're going to wake up now. Why? I don't know.
It didn't make any sense.
That is the fiction that is established.
Sure, it didn't. It wasn't
that they have reacted to the Kryptonian, and when he died, they woke up. So
because of his yell power.
Because of he yelped.
He yelled a lot, and they were like, okay, fine.
All
right, let's be done.
Let's be done.
Never speak of this again.
Guys, let us know what you thought of the Snyder Cut if you watched it. Let us know if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Let Fox know why he should love the Snyder Cut. Please
tweet at me.
Tweet at him.
At
At Kyle
Dez.
Fox.
That's my Twitter handle. Yes, tweet at everybody named at Kyle Fox you can.
There you go.
Saying why I whose handle that is.
Tweet at us about how much you like the Snyder Cut. We are at Bocumentary. And
Please tweet at Barack Obama what you liked about the Snyder Cut. He's a big fan.
Tweet at Joss Wheaton. No, don't do that.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Anyway.
let's be done.
Thanks for listening. Want to say thank you to Granger for the use of our theme song, All My Friends Have Wi-Fi, and so do some of my neighbors, off of the album Dear Sam. It's good music. Go listen to it now.
Yeah, and check
They're
out
listening to it quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, cool. That was quick. Now, also check out our YouTube channel. We are playing Katamari Damacy right now, and it's super fun.
It is.
We're probably going to play some Loop Hero after this. Then we're going to
Yeah.
play It Takes Two, a new co-op game. Then we're going to play Pokemon Snap, and then we're going to play Resident Evil 8. And we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Super pumped to play through it. So go check it out. There's something there.
Thanks
for
again,
you.
guys. And always remember that saved games save lives.
Bye.
My voice sings